Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Tuesday, 9 days until the NFL draft. We're very excited here at Cheesehead TV to be bringing you our live draft stream yet again. That's right, another year, another fun time. All 3 days of the draft, we will be live here on the Cheesehead TV YouTube channel. So please, God, come keep me company, especially on night one since Banky isn't going to be here. Corey Banky is like going to be busy or something, being important. So I got to hold down the fort by myself. So hopefully y'all come by that next Thursday night for night one of the NFL draft. Hell, night two as well, and day three, Saturday. We'll be here through all 7 rounds. It's always a good time. Definitely gets a little punch drunk towards the end. As opposed to just drunk on the first night. Be joined by many, many exciting special guests, including Kenny Clark, John Kuhn. David Bakhtiari has said he will arrive, so that'll be fun to have him in the fold. Some of your favorite Packers reporters, such as Rob Domofsky, Wes Hodkowitz, et al., many others, bloggers, podcasters, content creators from around the Packers blogosphere will be stopping by. Patreon members, Carry the G Club members, you'll have a special link to join us via Zoom so you too can be part of the proceedings. But you don't need to do that if you don't want. If you just want to hang out on YouTube and chat away, it's always good. We'll be live here on the YouTube channel for all 3 days and nights of the NFL draft. So I really do hope you can join us, and I really do hope you choose to partake and check out the Cheesehead TV 2023 Pro Football Draft Guide. You can purchase it in the link below in the description of this video. Everyone who does work on this is absolutely amazing. And as I say every year, it's pretty much the most incredible piece of content we put together each and every year, simply because Corey and myself are minimally involved. Make sure you check it out. Hope you do. And thank you to everybody who already has. It's incredible. The response every year is overwhelming, and this year is no different. Really appreciate everyone supporting all the fine folks who really work their ass off to put together an amazing piece of content each and every season. Packers fans, you do not disappoint. We are definitely in the deep breath before the plunge, as the title indicates. Packers clearly back in the building, beginning of the offseason program. But as far as personnel moves, pretty quiet on the Packers front. They have been known in the past to bring in people last minute prior to the draft to try and even out their roster and not box themselves in when the draft arrives. But things are pretty quiet on that front. Still plenty of time for them to add a guy or two to bolster certain positions, whether that's tight end, maybe edge rusher, etc. But yeah, the needs are pretty clear here heading into the draft, and got to think, given the usage of their top 30 draft picks, of which they've almost spent all of them. I think they're sitting at like 25 or 26, something like that. Get a pretty clear indication of the spots they're looking at, the positions they're bringing in. Lots of tight ends. I think they've brought in 5 already. So I would suspect, yes, we'll probably see a tight end headed to Green Bay after this draft, as well as a wide receiver, possibly even a running back. So adding weapons, adding toys for one Mr. Jordan Love. Hello to everybody in the comment section. So good to see everybody. Chris, starting us off with a super chat right away, even before I went live. Thank you so much, Chris. Does Bakhtiari showing up yesterday quiet down the people upset with his comments from the other day? No, Chris. Let me tell you why. The folks upset by David Bakhtiari's comments are going to be upset regardless. Facts, developments, they don't play a role here. People are just looking to be upset. If you're upset by something David Bakhtiari said on Bussin' with the Boys, you're just begging to be upset. That's it. So yeah, Bakhtiari showing up, that's not gonna change anybody's mind. If that's their mindset, they just want to be upset. And hey, you do you. I'm gonna be over here chilling out, not worrying about what my offensive tackle says while he's on a bus, talking to his buddies. That's just me. That's just how I roll. Soder's here. What's up, Soder? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for changing that. Avatar on Twitter. Really appreciate it. I would pay for an Andy Herman style Corey rant. Randy, I can't say I'd ever thought of it quite like that. An idea of that's time, whose time has come, maybe? I don't know. Del Aros is in here complaining about not getting Allen Robinson, apparently. Allen Robinson for a 7th round pick swap? That's all it took? Not even a pick. It only cost the Steelers $5 million. Ugh. Yeah, but you got Allen Robinson on your team. Dude is washed. Come on, man. Like 5 years ago, I would have been excited about Allen Robinson joining the Packers. When, by the way, he could have. He could have chosen to play with Aaron Rodgers. Homeboy wanted to play with Mitch Trubisky instead. To quote the knight in not in Temple of Doom, in Last Crusade, you have chosen poorly. That's all I got to say. Abdul, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Aaron, thoughts on Balaga's comments on love? Oh, I'm glad you asked me that because I did see that kind of spiraling yesterday, or was it Sunday on Twitter. Look, he's allowed his opinion, and I think I get where he's coming from. I understand, especially from a player's perspective, if you're a former player and you're seeing fans and or analysts / bloggers getting excited about a kid and posting whatever you're posting video wise, and you're saying, hey, can we calm down a little bit? I get it from his viewpoint, but I'd also push back and say, hey, Brian, they're fans, they're bloggers, they're excited about this young player. I don't understand why that should be kind of pushed back on, other than maybe the fact that it was Peter Bukowski. And Peter does present himself in a kind of a certain light, which may rub people the wrong way, a certain fashion, which may kind of irk some folks, including Balaga. And I think maybe that's why he was pushing back. But yeah, I mean, Balaga's got the pelts on the wall. He's a NFL vet who's probably just sitting there going, can we just hold off a little bit on the Jordan Love praise until, he's doing it week in and week out and got some real things to talk about? I get that. And that's why I haven't tried to make too much of his stint coming in Philadelphia. You guys know every time we talk about it, I say it's a very specific kind of game situation he's walking into there. I'm excited about him. You guys know I've been in this kid's corner since the moment he was drafted, but I understand where Brian's coming from. Let's, I was going to say something really inappropriate there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say that I understand where Brian's coming from. That's all. I get it. I don't think there's anything malicious there. I think Brian's just honestly trying to say, hey, maybe hold up a bit. Todd, thanks for the super chat. 1-pick quarterback. Not quite sure I understand what that is referencing. 1-pick quarterback. 1-pick quarterback? I only have 1 pick and I have to take a quarterback? Bart Starr. How's that? There we go. TK, are they drafting a quarterback this year? Yes. I would suspect yes. I made a video back at the Combine that I said they should probably draft a quarterback. Nothing since that moment has dissuaded the idea in my mind. I think it makes a world of sense. I suspect maybe they might even take a quarterback sooner than people are expecting. I would not be surprised to see one on day 2. But we'll see. We shall see how it plays out starting next Thursday night. Joe, thanks for the super chat. Are any wide receivers or tight ends in this draft worth taking at 15? Ooh, good question. I know people are on the JSN train. At 15, it just feels rich for my blood. I really like him. Think he's a really good player. 15 feels awfully early for me. But not that means they won't. But yeah, as far as rare traits, generational talent, long-term investment, I don't know, man. That's a tough one for me. Tight end, I think Washington's like the one guy I could talk myself into there. Even then, I think they probably wait. And I know people are going to be banging down the door for those selections, for wide receivers or tight ends. I know in our mock draft in the draft guide, Quentin Johnson is the pick, and I like him, but I still think that's probably early. But yeah, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? To me, it feels a bit early for everybody in this class. I think that's why I keep saying I'd much rather they go offensive tackle, but that's just me. That is just who I am and how I live my life. Spiked, what's up, man? Thanks for super chat. Is there anything to why the 3rd round has been so bad? They've only given 2 second contracts to third rounders since '08, none since 2010. I don't know what's to it. I mean, other than the fact that you're looking at it's across 2 general managers that this has happened. Um, Perhaps they're valuing the wrong metrics. Perhaps they're looking at the wrong stuff. It's hard to say without being in the room and know what's going into the determinations when it comes to making those picks. And I got to think it's a bit individualistic as far as why they're selecting these particular guys who then go on to, let's call a spade, disappoint more often than not. Um, Maybe there needs to be a change in process there. I'm fascinated to find out if Brian talks about it. I think we're going to hear from Gutekunst early next week. The Packers haven't announced anything yet, but he always does a pre-draft press conference, and my suspicion is we'll hear from him earlier in the week prior to the draft. I'd love for him to be asked about it because it's clear. I mean, third round has been a bugaboo. There's no doubt. Abdul, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Aaron, do you think Jets not getting OBJ and Hopkins saying he doesn't want to go there either is a sign that other players are frustrated with 12, or is that reading too much into it? Oh man, that's reading way too much into it. I look, Nuke and his whole kind of what was the body language thing, saying where he does or doesn't want to go. I think it's much more about wanting to go to a winning culture. What did you say? The Bills and the Chiefs. Well, yeah, they're winning lots of football games. He's coming out of Arizona where it's a fucking dumpster fire. Like he doesn't want to go to the Jets, even with Aaron Rodgers. It's not like they have a long, illustrious history of winning, either recently or historically, especially, recent history. I mean, they literally haven't been to the playoffs longer than any other team in the league. So, Hopkins wanting to be part of anything in that regard doesn't surprise me. Aaron Rodgers, yeah, sure, I want to go play with Aaron, chase a ring, what have you, but he wants to go where there's stability, great quarterback play, and lots of winning. And right now, that ain't the Jets. Now, maybe next offseason, if Rodgers ends up balling out and the Jets have a great season, next offseason, I could see guys maybe lining up to try and ring chase with Rodgers, give him another year and here we go. But I understand maybe not wanting to hop on board, whatever this experiment is in New York for 2023. What else we got? Mimsy. Nice to super chat. She said TV draft party live from Con Up Meats. That's an inside baseball reference right there. Only longtime viewers will know what Mimsy's talking about. I mean, that's what I told Corey. He's got to join on day 3 because that's when he's at his best. When everything's lagging, when things are starting to drag, all the names are going across the board. We've talked everything we can about positional need and what the draft has done and blah, blah, blah. Nothing like a good Corey Banke rant about a local meat shop to get things going again. Phil, thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate the support, man. Nags, can't wait for the draft live stream. Kind of curious, serious question. What should we do with our Favre stuff? Part of me wants to pitch it because part wants to hang it onto it for good memories for those times. Thanks. Phil, that's an amazing question. And look, that's a very serious question, and I don't want to belittle it or kind of make light of it, but I will say you do kind of have to embrace whatever it is he means to you, and I don't want to be dismissive with that, but I get asked a lot about Favre and his name being on Lambeau, right? And people wondering if they'll ever take his name down. And I always say it's never going to happen. And here's why. Brett Favre's name inside Lambeau Field is celebrating everything he did for the organization while he was with them on a playing field and representing them off the field at the time. And that is an encapsulation of a moment in time. If you can view your whatever jersey, signed poster or picture or what have you in that light, then yeah, you should hold on to it. But if every time you look at it, all you can think of is the scandal-ridden disgrace that he has become, then you probably should get rid of it. But I think that's entirely up to you. Not a perfect analogy, but something like Woody Allen's films, right? Given all we know about Woody Allen now, as opposed to when I was growing up watching his movies, I'm able to separate the two. I'm able to separate who Woody Allen is now in my, present day mind as opposed to what his films mean to me. And I love Annie Hall, Bullets Over Broadway. There's any number of films that I absolutely adore that I can still watch and enjoy. Given because I know what they are in and of themselves separated from who the man is. That name in Lambo is completely separate from the gentleman who is being accused of all these horrible things that he has allegedly done, not to get sued like Pat McAfee, allegedly done with the Mississippi Welfare Program money. So I think it really comes down to you, man, ultimately. Godsmack, thanks for the super chat. Regarding the draft, I've never liked the term premier position. If 1 out of 11 guys on the field screws up, it throws everything off. That's why I love football. It's the ultimate team sport. Yeah, that makes sense. I get it. Totally get it. I do think I understand where the Packers are coming from when they kind of view it through that lens, though. I mean, every position on the field is difficult. There's no greater harder position in team sports, in my estimation, than quarterback, right? I mean, you talk about a premier position. But I think you talk about tackle and corner, I'm on board with those as well. Those are incredibly difficult, especially given the competition you're facing. Yeah, to me, those are premier positions. But to your point, no question about it. It is the ultimate team sport. It is why it's so important for those guys to work in concert. But we've also seen plenty of times where, say, the guys up front get beat and the quarterback makes a desperation throw and a wide receiver bails you out. Now, the wide receiver, to the Packers' estimation, clearly is not considered a premier position. And if a left tackle gets beat, then the premier position got beat, etc. In their estimation, for the most part, though, is like your chances of winning football games are a lot better if you have premier talent at those premier positions. To that end, I can agree and I can get on board. Auto Manic on Twitch here, he gets it. Yeah, let's not give Jordan the luck treatment. Let's get that O-line bolstered. You see the vision, my friend. You got what I'm saying. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I want a wall in front of that young man. I want to give him all the time in the world to do what he needs to do. I'm with you. I am absolutely with you. Luke, what's up, man? Thanks for super chat. If you could have one player from any team, not including a quarterback, who would it be? Woo, baby. This used to be such an easy question. I mean, now it's probably Aaron Donald, right? I mean, I don't think that's a tough one. Back in the day, it was Hicks down in Chicago. I absolutely love him. But now it's got to be Aaron Donald, right? I mean, I know he's coming off a quote unquote and down year. His team is especially, but he's still an absolute menace and probably the best non-quarterback in the league still. So it's got to be Aaron Donald for me. Bill, thanks for super chat. How much rust coal do you see in Rodgers? MJF being an SOB, no stranger to hallucination, goes rogue often, talks more than coworkers would prefer. That's pretty good, Bill. That is pretty good. Would pick a fight with the sky if you didn't like it shade of blue. Yeah, that's Bill. I think you're onto something there. Well done. Abdul, thanks for the super chat. We have 10 picks. Do you see making all those? Yes. Yes, I do. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they traded down and got a few more. Plus, they'll have a few more from the Jets. Hopefully. So we'll see. But yeah, I suspect they will, especially with a team that, is in transition, has many holes. The best thing to do is to take as many swings as you can and try to find as much talent as you can in this draft to complement what you did last year. Start building a new core. 100% expect them to make most, if not all, of those picks. Absolutely. What else we got here? Excuse me. Callum, good question. Any chance of a team-friendly deal with Amos? Never say never, but I doubt it. I would suspect if they wanted to do that, that would have got done already. It's clear there's not much of a market for him. I know he took the visit with Baltimore. But if the Packers wanted to do that, I would suspect they would have already. Now, that said, maybe that's something they do right before the draft to try and kind of even things out at the safety spot. But I suspect they're trying to get a little younger there, get a little cheaper as well. We'll see, though. We will see. Craig, thanks to the super chat. Do you like day one of the draft more or day three where the hidden gems can be found? I love following the guys from day three. Enjoy the experience of day one a lot more. Man, I'm telling you, by day three, I am dragging, especially when the Packers have like 4 7th-round picks, and you're just like, oh my God, just make the picks when you got to wait. And oh. But yes, following them after they get picked is definitely day three. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out and talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.